Welcome to my channel, Planning with Maserati. We are going to read Proverbs 1 through 7 today, as promised, and I am going to set up the Happy Planner monthly into here as well, so that we can start working on this as well. So let me just take these sheets out. I am so rough with these pages, I swear. Okay, just making sure of what I got. Yeah, okay. So I took some note pages with it. That's okay. So let's go ahead and set this up before this one. We're going to read through She Reads Truth because, like I said, it's easier to take notes through there. But I'm not taking notes today, but I will, hold on, let me just put this in. I will be coming back showing you my notes as I come back the next day to read the next Proverbs, if that makes any sense. Okay, there we go. You should never do a cover with a lot of pages because it won't work out. So this here is going to be what we read. So reading through the Bible. Okay, so what we're going to do is move this out the way. It's my first time doing it like this, so just bear with me. We got the She Reads Truth. I got the camera set up a little bit different now. Don't mind that drink. It's because it's hot in here and I need a drink. Okay, so we're in Proverbs. So let's see. Where does Proverbs, the beginning page, begin? Okay, here. So reading through it in a week is like this. Week 1 would be Proverbs 1 and 2. So you got 5 days. So if you can get all this in 5 days, that'd be great. If we can't, it's okay. So let's start off with the beginning of Proverbs. Okay, so welcome. Please subscribe. Hit that post notification bell. And if I did say that, I apologize. I'm just all over the place because this is new to me. And I want you to get everything you can out of this. We're going to start off with Proverbs and on the timeline. So we're just going to read it because this is basically doing a lot of work for you. This is the She Reads Truth. Looks like that. My little scar mark. And it's the CSB. Okay. So every book of the Bible has a tab. So it's going to be easier for us. Did I write on here? I must have wrote, yeah, I wrote on here, which went through to here with that, like a bump. Okay. Let me shut up. Okay, sorry. So, Proverbs, we're going to read it here. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline." Okay, so Proverbs is about wisdom. So it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge." So, knowledge and wisdom. So let's start with the timeline. So the timeline starts, Solomon is credited with the Proverbs in chapters 1 through 29. So that is key. 1 through 29 of the book of Proverbs. Okay, so it's Proverbs 1 and 10:1. There are biblical evidence that Solomon was wise and a collector of wise sayings. 1 King 3:5 through 14. Chapters 1 through 24 may have been written during his reign 971 through 931 BC, while chapters 25 through 29 were Solomon's Proverbs collected in King Hezekiah during his reign from 716 to 687 BC. Proverbs 25:1, the last 2 chapters are credited to Agar and Lemuel. Proverbs 31 and 31:1. So a little background. Okay, that was a little tough, but a little background. We're on here. Is the reign of Solomon represented the peak of prosperity for the nation of Israel. The period law, the greatest extent of the territory, and there was peace and international trade. So it gives you all like the scriptures. It is likely Solomon knew about the ancient tradition of wisdom in Egypt, 1 King 3:1. But through inspiration and God's gift, he composed even better sayings. And it goes into that. And so it says Solomon addressed his teaching to his son or sons, but these inspired wise sayings are applicable to all people. And then there's a message and purpose if you want to just screenshot that. Don't say I said it. Okay, let's go into, so you have the timeline. You have a little background story, and then you can read on to the message and purpose. Let's read it. It says, because these proverbs are a part of the whole God's word, they are not simply for entertainment. They exhort, encourage, and offer hope. Solomon called readers, especially youth, to pursue wisdom rather than foolishness. He encouraged the inexperienced to become wise rather than mockers, to be teachable rather than incorrigible, to live rather than to die. He predicted that people who pursued wisdom would generally find success and happiness in this life, but he promised they would absolutely find joy and blessing in eternity. So there's give thanks for the book of Proverbs. So here is your timeline. So in red we have God. So blessing and curses, the commands of God, the fear of God, how God sees man, the way of wisdom, what God hates, what God loves. So I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm just going to tell you the top. So here it says, a guide to themes and Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is rich with wisdom for all areas of life. So the book of Proverbs is about wisdom, right? So man, adversity, drunkenness, happiness, the heart, humility versus pride, and then so on. Patience versus anger. We all need this. So there's that one. Relationship, adultery, correction, counsel, friendship, neighbors, parents, and children, and it goes on. Wealth, envy, debit, generosity versus greed, gluttony, security, wealth. I said I wasn't going to read them all, but I did. Well, most of them. World, we have, okay, so this is in green, it's hard to see. Calling, diligence, faithfulness, good versus evil, righteousness versus wickedness, hope and mercy, and then there's two more. So that's the timeline if you want to just like that. I'll hold the page up a little bit because that green is green. And a pink background. So I will put this into my notes, and I will have God here, and then man, relationship, and so on. I'm going to do the little circles as well, so stay tuned for that. You'll see that tomorrow. So we can read like it is here and go off of this list, or as much as we can read. And I'm thinking 1 through 7 because it'll be easier. There's 7 days for us, but there's only 5 days here. So it's not asking you to get to Proverbs 31 in 5 days, right? So we should be able to get through pretty good. And, you know, whatever we lack up here, we could kind of like go strong here. Going deeper, we don't have to do. I just want to get the Proverbs. But you can take note on going deeper. Okay. So with that, we're going to do Proverbs. And I'm going to do 1 through 7. And then, like I said, whatever we lack here, we're going to take to the next week. Whatever we lack here, we're going to take to the next week. And so on until we are complete with Proverbs. Even if it takes us 2 months, we'll still complete Proverbs regardless of how long it takes me. That's how I am. Okay. If I could get further down, I will let you know. But for right now, I'm going to focus on 1 through 7. The video is only 9 minutes, well, 10 minutes long now. So as long as I can get further down, because they want you to read Proverbs 1 and 2. So here's 1. We're not going to read this. This is a devotional. And then 2. So you have all of this, this one, and all of this one. I think we can do it, but let's see how far we could get. Okay, so let's start reading, and then I will start writing tonight, and then we'll go from there. So again, I want to do the timeline. I want to do all of that. So when we come back in the next video, you will be able to see all that. Let me know if you could see this. And then here is, some guides on this page. Keep in mind. Okay, let's go ahead. So the purpose of Proverbs. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for learning wisdom and discipline. So there's the key. We're learning wisdom and discipline. For understanding insightful sayings, for receiving prudent instruction in righteousness, justice, and integrity, for teaching shrewdness to the inexperienced, knowledge and discretion, I don't know why I said it like that, to a young man. Okay. Let a wise person listen and increase learning. There you have it. Let a wise person listen and increase learning. How key is that? So we have the wisdom and discipline, and then we have listening and increase learning. And let the discerning person obtain guidance. See, we're getting some good words in here. For example, a proverb, that's right, Whirly, where did you see that? For understanding a proverb or a parable, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. So that's key right there. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. So that is up to 7. We could stop here, but we're going to keep going until I can no longer read anymore. I'm just kidding. Till I'm tired, I guess. Avoid the path of the violent. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and don't reject your mother's teaching, for they will be a garland of favor on your head and pendants around your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, don't be persuaded. I want to stop here and go right here. It says, listen, my son, to your father's instructions, and don't reject your mother's teaching. Your mother will tell you, put shoes on, don't run outside with your no shoes or socks. Why? Because you're going to get arthritis. That's absolutely true. I'm a living proof of that. Just little things your parents will try to teach you. Okay, so my son, if sinners entice you, don't be persuaded. If they say, come with us, let's set an ambush and kill someone. Let's attack some innocent person just for fun. There's no way. I would never do that. Let's swallow them alive, like Shiloh. I'm not going to say the words correctly, so please don't come for me. Whole like those who go down to the pit. We'll find all kinds of valuable property and fill our houses with plunder. Throw in your lot with us, and we'll all share the loot. My son, don't travel that road with them or set foot on their path, because their feet run toward evil. Some right here. And they hurry to shed blood. It is useless to spread a net where any bird can see it, but then set an ambush to kill themselves. They attack their own lives. Such are the paths of all who makes profit dishonesty. It takes the lives of those who receive it. So down here is, like, if you looked and seen any of the letters, you can follow this along. I'll leave it right here for a minute. Okay, so we got to 19. We'll keep going. We're not going to worry about this. If you do want to look at it, take a moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue to read. Wisdom plea. Wisdom calls out in the street. She makes her voice heard in the public squares. She cries out above the commotion. Ugh, I keep getting text messages. Okay. She speaks at the entrance of the city gates. How long, inexperienced ones, will you love ignorance? How long will you mock? Will you mockers enjoy mocking? And you fools hate knowledge. If you respond to my warning, then I will pour out my spirit on you and teach you my words. Since I called out and you refused, extended my hand and no one paid attention. Since you neglected all the counsel and did not accept my correction, I in turn will laugh at your calamity. I have no idea. I will mock with terror strikes you. When terror strikes you like a storm, and your calamity, I'm assuming, comes like a whirlwind. When trouble and stress overcome you, then they will call me, but I won't answer. They will search for me, but but won't find me. It's kind of hard to see because I'm looking over the camera and the page, so it's like so small words. Okay, so we're here. They won't find me. Because they hated knowledge, didn't choose to fear the Lord, were not interested in my counsel, and rejected all my corrections. They will eat the fruit of their way and be glutted with their own schemes. For the apostasy of the inexperienced will kill them, and the compliance of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live securely and be undisturbed by the dread of danger. Okay, so we read the whole chapter 1. Okay. I don't know if I should keep going. I think I'm going to go all the way to 2 because we're pretty good at the timing. So, once I get familiar with these words, because there's some words that you cannot say, it'll be easier to read it. So just, keep patience and stuff with me. I'm just beginning doing this with you. Wisdom's worth. My son, if you accept my words and store up the commands within you, listen closely to the wisdom and directingly your heart to understanding. Furthermore, if you call out to insight and lift your voice to understanding, if you seek it like silver and search for it like a hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and discover the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom. That's key right here. I do want to write this because I'm just going to write Lord gives wisdom. That's my pen hitting the tripod. I'm sorry. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Okay, so then we just have this part left, and then we are done for today. He stores up success for the upright. He is a shield for those who live with integrity, so that he may guard the paths of justice and protect the way of his faithful followers. Then they will understand righteousness, justice, and integrity, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will delight you. Discretion will watch over you, and understand will guard you. It will rescue you from the way of evil, from anyone who says perverse things. Oh, I was already really. From those who abandon the right paths to walk in ways of darkness, from those who enjoy doing evil and celebrate perversion, whose paths are crooked and those ways are devious. If will rescue you from the forbidden woman, from a wayward woman with her flattering talk. Okay, my eyes are crazy. Who abandons the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house sinks down to death, and her ways to the land of the departed spirits. None return who go to her, none reach the paths of life. So follow the way of the good, and keep to the paths of the righteous. For the upright will inhabit the land, and those of integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the tetras ripped out of it. So we did chapter 1 and 2. So when I go back into here, I think it says page, yeah. So when I go back into here, we did 1 and 2. So you can go deeper with John 1:14 and 1 Corinthians 1:30. So tomorrow we'll start Proverbs 3. Hopefully we could get 3 and 4 out. So here's 3. And then here's 4. So it's not too bad. So again, if you like these kind of videos, please give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment, share the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. So again, we did chapters 1 and 2. We went over our week. And then we went over the timeline, the themes, not the timeline yet. And then we went over the timeline and a little background and a message and purpose. So with that being said, thank you. And I will talk to you in the next video. Have a good one. Please subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you can follow along with me. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.